Okay, Mike Masato, CEO of Staff Driven Dental and the Dental Road Warrior, returning for episode 59 in this series. So today I want to talk about getting out of your head and into the game. Now, what the heck does that mean? Half the time, or probably more than half the time, maybe 80% of the time, that myself and my coaches spend working with doctors and staff in trying to help them improve and grow their practices. Most of the time we spend in the practice is spent between what's going on between your two ears, right, and at your head, because that's where the biggest stop and barrier in practice is to success. This limiting thinking that many of you have that are watching this, that are holding you back in life and in practice. Right? There's a thing called considerations. These are the thoughts that you have in your head about stuff, right? And there's positive considerations and negative considerations, things that hold us back, things that limit us. But we get paralyzed by our considerations. We limit ourselves by the thoughts that we have out there about things, often without any investigation to find out that this actually may be true. Why don't you go out and find out for yourself? No, I thought about it, I heard from my colleagues, this is what I believe and think, without even investigating and trying something different, which is part of what we do in coaching. I did an episode on comfort zone, and I said, where does your comfort zone exist? Well, it exists. It's not a magical place you go to. It's actually in your head. And we spend a lot of time working on the head to get out of that comfort zone and to get over these considerations, these limiting thinking. You're truly your ability to succeed in practice. And in life, for that matter, is unlimited. It's just limited by your considerations. If we had no considerations about things, holding us back, we would achieve amazing heights. There's many quotes about this out there. What could you achieve? If you weren't familiar with the word impossible, you could achieve almost anything. But again, we have this thinking that are holding us back and keeping us stuck in place. It's hard for people to change. I get it. And I talked about change in an earlier episode about, the only thing that stops us and hold us back really is the urge to want to keep it all the same. And that's also in your head as well too. So a lot of these considerations, these limiting thinkings, is what we have to get people over. The great Yogi Berra once said, 90% of baseball is mental and the other half is physical. But what he was trying to say, all right, a lot of it has to do with your head, all right? It really is. And that's not. And I tell you, it's not about. We teach. So we have so much great material. So many great ideas, and it all works. But it doesn't work if you're just in your head about it. Unless it's applied, actually used in practice and in life, it will not work. Many of us have tons of binders on our shelves. We bought binders from a consulting company, and you have that stuff sitting there right now, or the DVDs, or the CDs, or the whatever you have, right? And it just sits there. If you haven't noticed, it doesn't implement itself. And what did you buy? There's very expensive DVDs, or very, very expensive CDs, or very expensive binders. That's what you got. Mine's a very expensive binder too. If nothing's done with it, and nothing changes. One of my favorite quotes. Maybe I've used it before. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And so, if this is the year that change is going to happen, the first change you got to make is get out of your head and into this game. Now, I get criticized sometimes for talking about dentistry as a game. Look, I'm not talking about, when I say the word game, I'm not talking about playing around with your patients and fooling around and not being serious about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about making the business of dentistry and helping other people fun and enjoyable and a challenge for you and your team to succeed. That's what I'm talking about. Because if you don't make it a game, the game becomes getting you. If it's like work all the time and everything's just grinding it out and just grinding out dentistry every day, look, it becomes very robotic, very boring, and it doesn't make it enjoyable for anybody being there. I walk into this, too many environments when it's so damn serious in the practice. And then here's your first problem. It's being too damn serious about here. Oh, what do you mean we're too serious? We have to take dentistry serious. I'm not saying you shouldn't take dentistry seriously, but you don't have to be serious about it. And one of the greatest quotes you can get is like, a compliment you can get is if a patient says, hey, you guys are having so much fun. Does anybody work around here anymore? It's a great compliment. We are helping people. We're enjoying ourselves. We love being here. We're into the game. We're having a great time enjoying doing it. We got to make dentistry inviting for people to come in. And create an environment that our staff loves to come into every single day. That's not like work, and it's not so serious and heavy all the time. But if we're always in scarcity and desperate and in survival mode every day, just to make ends meet, you're never going to get there. The only guarantee of survival is abundance. In practice, you have to get to an abundant place. So, and again, the mindset most of us have is a scarcity mindset, which is, again, it's a consideration that limits us, because we don't want to swing out there, and it holds us back. I don't know how much I've talked about my background, but way before dentistry, and I was in new patient marketing. That was my background. I got trained to become marketing for new patients in the alternative medicine field. That's what I did. It was a very unique position. I didn't go to school for this. There's no marketing degree in new patients. I can tell you that much. But I was a product of consulting and training. And I won't give you my long winding path how I got into it. But there was a time that I worked for a doctor back in the day, and this is like early 80s, early 90s, that I used to bring 30 to 60 new patients a month into my doctor's practice. Think about that for a second. Every single person that walked through the door of that practice, I had something to do with, directly or indirectly. And my quota was 30 to 60 new ones a month. Think about how much money I made that doctor back in the day. But why was I doing it? To make money? No, I did it because I was passionate and into what I did. I wanted people to be healthy, because I was into health and fitness, and I was into and I was into alternative medicine, and I was into, and I saw the miracles that it created for myself. So you know what? Half of it was my own enthusiasm every day, but I had and because I didn't grow up in that field, I was trained in it from I didn't have any preconceived notions about it when I was talking about, new patient. This is great. This is fantastic. And remind you, this is not long after. This is maybe several years after, I want to say, and marketing became legal. To do in certain fields. It's amazing to say that not too distant future, marketing was illegal in dentistry. You couldn't even do it, without getting locked up or losing your license. All right? And it's come a long way since that time. So there's nothing wrong for letting people know that we're here to help you, and we're great at it. Come to see us. People are going to spend their money on some place. They might as well spend it on you, and know that you're going to get the best care possible. But I used to go in. I did everything in my time, with no considerations or back off whatsoever. I'll go stand in a Costco to flag down patients. Sure, I'll stand in a Costco and flag down patients, or a supermarket, or a health food store, or a health club, health fairs. You name it, I did it. And you might think it's crazy. How many people are well today, still today, probably because I was standing in a Costco to try to help them get well and talk about different alternative methods and have them invite them in for a free consultation and a workup in the practice. It might sound ludicrous to you. Ha, it's laughable. But you know what? I did whatever it took, and I didn't have anything in my head telling me, thinking that I can't do this, right? And that's half the battle. Being out of your head and having this limiting thinking that holds you back to try new things, to get out of that comfort zone I've talked about before, and that's it. Because I was doing a lecture. This just happened. I was just doing a lecture talking about new patient acquisition. And a doctor raised his hand because I was talking about how the marketing, you should limit it to a certain number of people to make it scarce, to let people know, there's only a limited number of availability of these. It was a dinner workshop. So you say it's limited to 20 people. Don't have it be unlimited, because if you do it that way, people don't move to action to get there. And his big consideration and concern was, well, when the patients get there, aren't they going to count how many people are there? And if you said it's limited to 20 and there's 25, they're going to think it's false advertising? I said, are you kidding me? Really? Patients are going to come in and count heads to make sure your marketing was exactly the number you said you were going to market? Come on. You're missing the point. And I guarantee you that guy will not do the marketing. He will not, because he has this consideration in his head about worried about what people will think of him. If you're worried about what people think about you all the time, you will go nowhere in life. All right? If you're worrying about being liked all the time, what will people? I have to be liked. I have to be. If I do, they won't like me as much as if I do this. I got some news for you. I know you're going to find this shocking. And when I tell you this right now, hard to believe this, listen to this now, that there are some people out there that don't like me. I know you're shocked. I can't believe it myself. That there's actually people out there that don't like me. All right? But I can't worry about that. I speak in front of audiences all the time, promoting, practice management, practice growth and change. And I can tell there's people in the audience that don't like me, because I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But you know what? I'm not up there to be liked. First and foremost, I'm up there on a mission to help others and help doctors and help them get better in life. And some can hear it and some cannot. That's okay. Just like when you're out there, swinging out there for patients to do it. All right. Some patients might think it's strange that you're in a mall doing something, and some people might just love it. And you might get some patience out of that because you're out there helping people. And you weren't worried about getting out of your head and trying something new. So it's a new year when I'm doing this in 2019. And, this will be for all posterity. Somebody's going to watch this in the future and think this guy's crazy. But look at this archaic video. But anyway, it's 2019. Try something new. Get out of your head. These considerations, right, that hold you back. This limiting thinking. Remember, your ability is unlimited. It's only limited by these considerations. Get some coaching help. Get someone who's going to partner with you to finally break through, implement new things, all right, to help grow your practice and improve and change this year. All right. Hope this was useful. Hope you liked it. If you're enjoying these, share them as always. And I'll be back before you know with another episode.